All aboard your tech news, games, and deals caboose. We have some crazy stuff to talk about from CES, one of which is Asus's ROG Mothership, which is a detachable keyboard from monitor slash laptop. And we also have the Acer Predator Triton 900. And both of these have RTX, and there's some pretty crazy laptops. So let's start off with the Asus ROG Mothership. This is the GZ700, and it gets pretty crazy. First off, the keyboard actually will detach, and then there's an actual kickstand. Let's check that out really quick. We get a bunch of RGB. It's actually the cover for the screen as well, so you can transport it pretty easily. And then here's a little kickstand that pops out and it props up. And then the keyboard's wireless or USB-C connection. So you have both options there. You can move around. And then spec-wise, we're getting a 144 Hertz. This is a 1080p 3 millisecond G-Sync display for your eyeball pleasure. And then RTX with an i9 processor. We'll get some more actual specs. And they talk about how the mothership was born. This is a big long post. There's some design, size-wise, how thin it is. And we get into some cooling. It has dual 12V fans. So it's got a lot of cooling inside of it. There's some video of it blowing air around. And this is factory overclocked. So before it even gets to you, it'll be overclocked. So the CPU, sounds like the CPU is going to be overclocked. They didn't exactly talk about the GPU. And we get 4 heat sinks. This is the cooling inside of it with 375 ultra thin copper fins. They're all 0.1 millimeter thin, so super thin. And that's a surface area of 200,000 millimeters squared. So a crazy amount of cooling in there, fin wise. And this is the i9-8950HK CPU, which normally runs at 4.3, and it's going to boost up to 4.8 in turbo. And it's going to be able to keep that better with all the fins and all the cooling and all the extra stuff they did to this crazy mothership of a crazy laptop. We get up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. And we also get 3 NVMe SSDs in RAID 0. So 2 of the NVMe RAID SSDs are actually connected to the CPU, because normally if you connect it to the chipset, you're going to get bottlenecked through the faster CPUs, through the PCI 3.0 bandwidth. So 2 are actually connected to the CPU, and that's going to enable 8,700 megabyte per second transfer speeds. So crazy speeds, and you're not going to be capped at like 3.5 gigabits. So gigabits. So, and we also get the RTX 2080 discrete GPU, 8 gigs of GDR6 super fast memory, G-Sync display. There's a keyboard detached again, and we actually get some pretty good sound. 4 front-facing speakers, 16 watt, and if you're into audio, premium ESS Saber DAC. So some high-res audio stuff for you there. You also have the microphone input and headphone jack, I believe, so you can just plug in headphones. And the microphone input or the array of mics that sit next to the webcam. You also get a webcam in there, 1080p 30 FPS, which gets you hello facial recognition for Windows. And what else do we have? We get the keyboard's over 2.4 gigahertz wireless, we kind of already mentioned this, or USB-C connection, so for faster gaming. And we also get the Armory Crate software, where you control the RGB, you can control the keyboard RGB, you can control the backlight, the actual little lights that come out from the kickstand area, you can control all the RGB, and then plus anything else that you connect to it that has the Aura Sync software stuff, so peripherals. And this is Wi-Fi also for 802.11ax, so the faster 2019 basically standard, we're going to call it. So fast Wi-Fi if you want to just connect to Wi-Fi. And here's all the specs next to each other. So 3 NVMe's or 4 PCI 3.0, and we get a lot of I/O, USB 3.1, Type-C virtual link, so Thunderbolt virtual link, 3 USB 3.1s, and a bunch more connectors, headphone, microphone, jack, Kensington lock, SD card reader, and I believe there was gigabit. Do I see gigabit? I don't see gigabit Ethernet connection. I saw some ports. I'm not quite sure. There's 2 power connectors, and that means you're going to need a lot of power to power this overclocked crazy motherboard ship of a laptop. And we get a little bit more video. Let's check out some more of the shots for this. And then here is just the backwards area. The logo lit up, it pulls out. And there is, it looks like an Ethernet port there, and then USB, and then wireless. So crazy laptop there. Let's turn this text off. Why is that text rolling? It's not 3 p.m. So we're gonna put this up against the Acer, the Predator Triton gaming laptop. And actually, let's go back real quick. I think we had, this is coming out in Q2 and there's no pricing. So we'll see what this costs, probably a couple $1,000s. But let's get back into the Predator Triton gaming laptop. So this is a convertible. There's a little easel there and you can actually swing the display around. This is a 17.3 inch 4K G-Sync display, so a little bit higher resolution than the other one. And you can swivel it around. It's touch screen, so you can use it kind of like a tablet if you wanted to pick up. It's about 1 inch thick, so it's not too crazy thick to use this laptop or tablet basically. So spec-wise, we have an i7, not a 9.9 like the other one, 8750H processor. We also get the RTX 2080 with 8 gigs, and this is in RAID 0 with 2 storage SSDs. So not quite as fast as the triple NVMe stuff, but this one's a little bit thinner, probably with 0.94 inches. And this one is coming for March for $4,000. So this one actually has a price and gets pretty expensive. But you can use the tablet, the display basically in 4 modes they kind of mention. You can use it in the ezel mode, you can use it as a regular laptop, you can use it like a display mode where you flip it around and you're just like that, using it as a tablet. This has metal fans inside of it, which is 45% better cooling than whatever they were comparing it to. Here's the cooling shots. There's your keyboards, and this has a trackpad on the right side, which would give you better placement if you're using it as like a mouse, but if you're gaming, you're probably going to want to just get a mouse for it and have the regular trackpad in the regular area, but that's up to you on that. And you can also use it as a touchpad num key thing. So that is a Triton 900, and here are all the specs again. There's no weight, but there's a 4K G-Sync display, 2080, i7 8750. So pretty crazy specs and unique display option for a laptop. It's pretty crazy. And there's also other versions of the Triton. So we're going to be getting a Triton 500, and there'll be 3 models for this, starting at $1,800. And this will be basically a choice between an RTX 2060 or a 2080 Max Q. And then you'll have a little bit more variation. So that'll start at $2,500 for the 2080 version. And then you can double the RAM and double the SSD for an extra $500. And this is a 144 hertz refresh rate, 3 millisecond G-Sync. This is the 1080p version for the 500 model. So 2 really crazy laptops. This convertible one seems interesting if you want a touchscreen, or the other one, it seems like it's a more portable wise where you can do more things with it, use it as a wireless keyboard, prop it up, use it as more gaming portable features. But that is up to you, whichever you decide on. So that is CES going crazy. We're going to have another episode tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific, and probably an extra episode like this one again with some crazy stuff or more announcements. There's some HTC stuff going on and some Intel stuff that we need to cover tomorrow. So check back then, and we're signing off. Pew pew, pew pew pew, pew pew pew.